Hello and welcome to Can Capture's Live and Digital Special. I'm here with Jess Aylett, who's Head of International Sales at GumGum. Jess, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And your first can, how's it going?
Like my debut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
when did you fly in?
yesterday.
Okay, so you were straight off the plane and
Straight in with a glass of rosé.
Yeah.
As it should be done.
You're in France.
In France, exactly. We're in the French Riviera. Why would that not be the case?
Yeah.
No, met most of the people on the flight.
Yeah.
It was basically just everyone from London
on
the same flight coming out here,
Yeah.
same industry. I was sat next to, there was a guy next to me that was doing all his work.
Yeah.
Working, like, seeing his briefing doc, person in front of me. There was me looking at my my
Yeah.
panel for tomorrow. Everyone's
cool.
like,
What panel are you on?
I'm on the panel tomorrow. We're doing it with, actually, there's a few people from here, the Digital Voice are doing it.
Yeah.
Julia's moderating it.
Yeah, she's a great moderator.
She is. We had one last week where she did it.
I can't wait to talk about that. It looked really good.
Terrifying.
Yeah, were you?
The audience participation was terrifying.
Yeah.
She got everyone so riled up. She was doing you vote, they decide, and getting everyone to like vote in. I was the first one up.
Yeah.
I was robbed.
Yeah.
I should have won that panel. But there you go.
Timing, you've got to go last. People have got very short-term memories.
Exactly. And then everybody else had more. They had more ammunition. I had nothing. I had nothing to give back or fight against.
Yeah.
It was just me up there. But yeah, it was good.
Good stuff. Well, Jess, I know obviously it's great to see you here in GumGum. What are the big things for GumGum in Cannes this year?
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's the mindset graph. I suppose that's our the big development for us is that, and sort of where we're pushing that and the brain of what GumGum is these days.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a new format, which
cool.
we're just about to launch, which is very exciting. It's in the beta phase at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little teaser, I guess, of what we've got coming up. We're just in the middle of doing some, like I say, the betas. We're working with a big global fast food chain.
Okay.
And that's doing really well. So they've just got some, I suppose it's called Velocity, the new format. It's two of the pillars of the mindset graph are, obviously the pillars are creative, context and attention. Mm-hmm. I suppose Velocity feeds into two of those. Mm-hmm. It's creatively enticing for both consumer and brand. It's very exciting and it's there to sort of command attention. Yeah. And the results are pretty impressive, actually. I'm really looking forward to bringing it out into market. Like I say, this big fast food brand has just got 119% uplift in attention from running it.
Wow.
So big results. So we're really excited to do that. And I guess that's kind of a little thing we've got like teasered out of for us. So it's a big thing, is the Velocity and the mindset graph, which we're obviously all behind at the moment. So that's our big things.
Yeah, and when you're speaking to your customers and agencies, what do you think brands are most interested in when you're hearing what they want to get out of running advertising campaigns with someone like GumGum? What's on their agenda?
It's an interesting question. I mean, results is obviously our purpose-driven results. And I think for us, context. I mean, I say it all the time, and context isn't new. It's not like a brand new, exciting trend, but it does underpin everything this industry does. It works. Yeah. And the way we do it is sort of, I guess, supercharged. You've got the mindset graph, and that's one of the pillars, but it is the foundation of everything we do. And I think when you speak to a lot of our brands, context is king. It always has been, it always will be. We've just got to make sure we're doing it in the right way. And I think for the first time ever, we're at a massive turning point in the industry, and context is getting the passion and the drive from the client that it deserves. It should be at the forefront of what we do. We're finally using it in the right way and actually pushing forward with it. And I think that's kind of what we're probably focusing a lot of our clients on, is sort of making sure they're contextually in the right environments and actually doing it right.
Yeah, and you mentioned the mindset graph. People who haven't seen it, can you give me is it something you can explain to me in sort of like, a short period of time? Like, what is the mindset graph? How does it work? How do your customers use it?
So at the moment, it's I suppose we're using it as a bit of audience discovery planning tool. We use it internally as sort of activation in insights. That's coming to the consumer soon. That will be given sort of like things on keyboards. But essentially, the mindset graph is the brain of GumGum. It's sort of those three.
And the businesses you've acquired over the years, and it's how it's pulled
Correct,
together.
Exactly that. So we've literally, through all the acquisitions, you've got, the creative side of things, context, which is obviously GumGum's bread and butter, our foundation, and then the attention piece.
Food playground,
exactly. So it feeds in all of our three core pillars to our business, but really is like I said, it is the brain of what we now do. All of those three things feed in together, and then everything we do comes out of that, whether it be audience discovery, planning, activation, all the way through to insights.
It's actually great to have something you can go to market with, where it's such a clear, here's what we're doing, here's how it solves as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, it's
And ties
exciting.
up,
Yeah, I mean, I suppose like, look, we've had a lot of acquisitions over the years, and this is all of that hard work that we've done is now being fed through into what we've now created, which has always been, I suppose, the end goal.
Yeah.
But now finally we're in market with this amazing product, and it's now sort of, I mean, not only being used for us, but we're now being able to give it to our clients, put it in the hands of those that want to use it and should using it, and we're seeing some amazing results of obviously feeding those three things in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more people getting access to the mindset graph.
Yeah, very cool. And you've been in Cannes for a day. I know it's a
Yep.
whirlwind, but what is the vibe?
I always say context.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just us that are talking about it. Like I was saying to you before, like the fired up panel that I was on the other week with the digital voice. Every company at some point references context. It
Yes.
underpins everything that we all do as an industry.
It's relevance. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forever. It's
But also, it's the bedrock of the industry.
Yeah.
Like it really is. There's a reason why it's having a massive comeback. It's the reason why we've always spoken about it, and why we're now, I suppose, supercharging it to do it in a really really cool way. But I guess I think probably the other big thing that everyone's talking about in Cannes is CTV.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you'd be crazy.
Look where we're sitting on the Samsung. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, CTV is everywhere, and rightly so. It's taking over not just from an ad spend perspective, but it's going to rival and is rivaling TV in terms of consumers. So I think that's a big thing that I'm seeing a lot of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who was CTV had a place that Fired Up? I'm guessing.
It did.
Yeah.
They were one of the hot trends. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Show Hero Steve.
Yeah,
did that.
Steve. Okay, I'll see him later. Okay, very cool. And but context has a massive role to play in CTV.
I mean, I know it sounds like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid of GumGum talking about context, but context has a massive role in everything we do. It really does underpin not only what we do at GumGum, but the whole industry. Like, I say all the way through from like planning, activation, insight, reporting, everything. And I think it's not just in one particular media. You can go back. Context has been around forever. Look at print. You look back, and if you were a car brand, you wanted to be an auto trader. It's always been there, and it always will be there. It's just how we use it and how we refine how we target those audiences contextually and make sure it's a relevant message. But I think it's just getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I agree, and I remember going back to when post ad networks, how contextual plays such an important role, because I remember there's some platforms out there many moons ago that were really leaning into it. But yeah, I think for advertising to work, it needs to feel relevant. So it's just that big thing about relevance. When something's not relevant, it feels jarring. When it is, it feels natural. It's just a very basic human.
It's a human, correct.
What is my experience of this piece of content?
I mean, we obviously that's what everything that we talk about is serving the right message to the right people at the right moment and getting that like contextual relevance. But we did a survey recently. I think 75% of users say that if they're reading an article and the ad is contextually relevant, they're going to pay more attention to it.
Yes,
it's not rocket science.
Well, it's natural.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in the right mindset, and you're more likely to feed in and actually want to consume not only the content but the advertising around it.
Yes.
I think that's kind of that is what GumGum is these days. We're making sure that we're in that right, getting people when they're in that right mindset.
Yeah, good stuff. And I must ask, because lots of people hear this who haven't come to Cannes before, might be thinking about it. What's your take on Cannes so far as year one?
Great. Far too hot.
Yeah, it's boiling.
Far too hot.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we're in an aircon room, because I would have been terrified otherwise.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got comfy shoes.
Yeah.
It's absolutely massive.
Yeah. There's so much to walk.
Can't get a cab anywhere, so you have to walk. Comfy shoes are a must.
You can't, not lack of set, you've got to walk it. So I suppose someone who's hired a bike and they bike back up and down. But I don't think I'd do that, because I'd probably crash. But
that would be me. I wouldn't be doing it. But it's a really great vibe. I think it's a really there's everyone talks about Japan. It's an amazing event. I think it's an amazing thing to see all the big brands and also smaller startups come and actually be able to showcase what they're doing in the industry.
The ad tech scene is so cool.
It's so cool, and it's got a huge space on the Croisette, and rightly so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's an amazing event, and I think for us, especially at GumGum, obviously we're global. We're talking to brands we speak to on a day-to-day basis, but probably don't get to interact with face to face. So for us, it's like a really nice time to actually have some meaningful conversations, talk about like great partnerships, launch new formats like Velocity, do amazing things that you can't do anywhere else.
Yeah, Very good. Well, enjoy the rest of your stay.
Thank you.
And I shall have a debrief afterwards and hear how it's been.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. Thanks for joining us, Jess.
Thank you.